Over to the Middle East, where Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has urged Hamas to release hostages still held in Gaza, calling it the main factor fueling Israeli attacks on the territory. Let's take a look at what he said.
كل يوم في مئات القتلى. ليش الناس نسلم الرهينة الأمريكية؟ طب يا أولاد الكلب سلموا اللي عندكم هذول وخلصونا من الشغلة. سدوا ذرائعهم خلصونا.
According to the Gaza Health Ministry, at least 39 bodies and 105 wounded people have arrived at Gaza Strip hospitals over the past 24 hours. The Palestinian Civil Defense said its emergency workers recovered 11 bodies after an Israeli attack that sparked a fire at a school sheltering displaced people in Gaza City. The Civil Defense also stated that a child was killed in Israeli airstrikes on a home in the northern Jabalia area, and another individual was killed in a similar incident in the southern city of Khan Yunis. 4 more people were killed in eastern Gaza City, and several remain trapped beneath the rubble. In a statement, the Foreign Minister of Germany, France and the UK have jointly called on Israel to adhere to international law by allowing the unhindered passage of humanitarian aid into Gaza. Reports also indicated that at least 50 Palestinians, including minors, women and previously released prisoners, have been detained by Israeli forces. A senior Hamas delegation is also en route to Cairo for renewed negotiations over a ceasefire in Gaza and the release of Israeli hostages. We are joined by our guest Ali M. Abushbak, independent Palestinian researcher located in Cairo, to discuss this further. Ali, thank you very much for joining us. I want to start briefly with the calls from Germany, the calls from the United Kingdom and from France for the unhindered passage of humanitarian aid into Gaza. This isn't new. What are your thoughts on and do you have do you think that this aid will reach Gaza, and how is it affecting people on the ground there?
Well, thank you so much for having me. The thing is, the horrific situation in Gaza, it's unrepresentable anymore. While the people are starving from the Israeli blockaded for the main corridor and main border that can enter the humanitarian aid from to Gaza. So since the 18th of March, Israel completely blockaded Gaza, which make the situation totally dire. People are starving and people are dying from the starvation. So I guess this demand from French foreign minister and from the UK also. So this is a significant call from the Israeli to enter the humanitarian aid while the people are suffering from the lack of floor, lack of the substantial supplies for the Gaza. And if you will go on the ground, the price of the food, it's increasingly rising up, which the ordinary people can't manage it, which ordinary people can purchase the single food or to survive, to continue their life. At the meantime, Israel continued the bombardment in Gaza, continued the airstrike against the civilians, places like a school, like hospital, like what we have seen last 2 weeks, that the Al-Ma'madani hospital, Israel targeted and giving them 20 minutes to evacuate the hospital. Yesterday also Israel targeted a shelter school for the people. As you know, that all the public places is turned to shelter for the people who are displaced and they don't have any alternative apartment or don't have any accommodation. So they turn to the public place to take that as a shelter for them. This is on one hand. On other hand, there is more than 100,000 Palestinian children They are prohibited to go to school, and the education system is completely stopped since the 7th of October, when the Israel take the revenge from Hamas hit attack. So in my opinion, the demand of to lead the humanitarian aid to enter Gaza and to adhere to the international law, while the Israeli continuous violated the international law in Gaza and as well as in West Bank. Maybe they will find some hope for the Palestinian, for their resilience on the ground.
Yes. Ali, there are more reports coming out of the Gaza Strip of strikes on schools and a children's hospital. How reliable are these sources? Obviously, the Israelis would say that these sources are not reliable. How should people be looking at these and taking them for truth?
To targeting the Palestinian civilians place, it's that Hamas taking a human shield for these places and hiding behind the civilians. On social media, there is a several of activists. They are criticizing Hamas as the significant responsible of giving the Israeli justification to targeting and to hitting the public place. As you said, that Israel hit that Muhammad al-Durrah hospital that specialized for children in East Gaza in Al-Tifah neighborhood. I mean, according to my information, I have no, confirmed information, but on social media, people are criticizing Hamas if they took this such kind of places as a shield for them or no, and as well as Hamas intensively launched a rocket into the Israelis area from the public places, which makes the Israeli defense forces to order the people to displace the area. So the responsible of the suffering, half of responsible that the practice of Hamas on the ground, which I don't, I have no, confirmed information about it, but most of social media activists criticized Hamas, and we witnessed that the people in Gaza protesting against Hamas behavior and pressurize Hamas to accept the deal with Israel. As today, also the delegation of Hamas heading to Cairo to discuss a new round of negotiation deal from the Cairo.
Ali M. Bushback, thank you very much for joining.